Have you ever seen her, that woman walking down the street, shoulders slightly hunched, eyes searching the ground, as if looking for something she lost long ago? Maybe she's in the grocery store, lingering a little longer in the aisles just to avoid going home to an empty house. Maybe she's sitting in the back of the room, unnoticed, unheard, unseen. Maybe she is you. This world has a way of making loneliness feel like a prison. It tells you that if you walk alone, you are forgotten. If you have no friends, you have no worth. But let me tell you something. There is a lie hidden in that loneliness. Tonight, I want to speak to the woman who walks alone. I want to tell you something that can change your life forever. Because while the world may overlook you, heaven has never turned its eyes away. While others may walk past, there is one who has been walking beside you all along. Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you will see that your solitude is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something greater. The weight of loneliness is something that cannot be measured by human scales. It is not a burden that can be seen with the eye, nor can it be easily explained to those who have never carried it. It is the silent ache in the chest, the emptiness that lingers even in a crowded room, the feeling of being unseen in a world full of people. Loneliness is not just about being alone. It is about feeling forgotten, as if your existence has somehow slipped between the cracks of life. It is about waking up in the morning with no one to say good morning to, and going to bed at night with no one to say good night. It is about standing in the midst of conversations, but realizing that no one is truly speaking to you. It is about hearing laughter around you, but never feeling its warmth reach your soul. For a woman who walks alone with no friends, every step can feel like a reminder that she does not belong. She watches as others gather in groups, as friendships form and flourish, and she wonders why she has been left out. The world moves forward, yet she remains still, caught in a place where no hand reaches for hers, no voice calls her name. She wonders if she is invisible, if she is meant to walk this life unnoticed, unheard. And yet, in the quiet of her loneliness, she asks a question that echoes in the hearts of many. Does anyone truly care? Loneliness does not just affect the mind. It weaves its way into the soul. It drains the color from life, making even the brightest days feel dull and the happiest moments feel distant. A woman who walks alone often carries a heart full of stories she has never told, burdens she has never shared, and dreams she has kept locked away because no one has ever asked to hear them. She has learned to be her own comforter, her own strength, her own source of encouragement. She has walked through battles that no one knows about, cried tears that no one has seen, and prayed prayers that only the heavens have heard. But here is the truth. Loneliness is not the end of the story. It is not a sentence to a life of isolation, nor is it proof that a person is unloved. The world may overlook the woman who walks alone, but she is not forgotten. Every step she takes is seen. Every tear she sheds is counted. Every sigh that escapes her lips is heard. There is a presence that walks with her even when she feels abandoned. There is a voice that calls her name even when the world is silent. There is a love that surrounds her even when she cannot feel it. Her loneliness is not a sign of weakness. It is a place where strength is forged. It is in the quiet moments of solitude that she learns resilience. In the empty spaces that she discovers who she truly is. The weight of loneliness is heavy, but it does not have to break her. Society has a way of defining people by their relationships, A woman who walks alone is often seen as an outsider, someone who does not fit within the carefully constructed circles of companionship and social belonging. When she enters a room, eyes glance toward her not with curiosity, but with silent judgment. She feels it in the way conversations pause for a moment as she passes by, in the way people naturally drift toward their familiar groups, leaving her standing alone. She is not openly rejected, yet she is never fully embraced either. The world has always valued connection, and rightly so. Friendships and relationships bring comfort, strength, and meaning. But when a woman finds herself walking alone with no friends, society does not pause to ask why. It simply assumes that something must be wrong. Perhaps she is difficult, they say. Perhaps she does not know how to love, how to belong, how to be a part of something greater than herself. Society seldom considers the possibility that she has tried, that she has opened her heart, only to have it met with indifference or betrayal. It does not ask if she has faced rejection time and time again, if she has trusted people who have walked away, if she has poured love into relationships that never poured love back into her. And so she walks alone, carrying the invisible weight of unspoken pain. She watches as others make plans, exchange smiles, and share secrets. She stands on the outside, not because she wants to, but because the doors that led to connection never truly opened for her. She wonders if something is wrong with her, if she is the problem, if she was simply not meant for friendship. Society's silent judgment does not come in words, but in the feeling of being an afterthought, of being the one people notice only when they need something, of being included only when it is convenient for others. But here is the truth that the world does not tell her. Her worth is not determined by the number of people who walk beside her. Loneliness does not mean she has failed. It does not mean she is unworthy of love or companionship. The world measures belonging by external connections, but true belonging begins within. A woman who walks alone may be walking a path that is necessary for her growth, for her healing, for her strength. Sometimes solitude is not a punishment, it is a season of transformation. The judgment of society does not define her. She is more than the absence of friendships, more than the spaces left empty by those who have walked away. She is whole even in her solitude. She is valuable even if the world does not recognize her worth. And though society may never understand her journey, she must remember that she is not alone in the way the world wants her to believe. There is a presence that sees her, loves her, and walks with her, even when no one else does. Hello! And if the world wants her to believe, there is a presence that sees her, loves her, and walks with her, even when no one else does. Strength is not always loud. It is not always found in the voices that command a room or in the hands that hold on to others for support. Sometimes strength is quiet. It is found in the steps of a woman who walks alone, with no friends by her side, yet refuses to let loneliness define her. The world sees her and assumes she is weak, that she is missing something essential, that she is incomplete without the presence of others. But what the world does not see is the resilience being forged in her solitude. There is a strength that comes from standing alone, from carrying the weight of life without a hand to hold. A woman who walks alone has learned how to rely on herself in ways that others may never understand. She has endured moments of silence so deep that they echo through her soul, yet she has not allowed them to break her. She has faced days where no one checked in, where no one reached out, where no voice spoke her name with care, yet she continues to press forward. The strength in solitude is not just about surviving, it is about becoming. The woman who walks alone learns who she truly is without the influence of others shaping her identity. She does not change herself to fit into groups, does not bend to please those who may never truly accept her. Instead, she discovers the depth of her own heart, the power of her own mind, and the truth of her own worth. The world teaches people that they need validation from others to be whole, but she has learned that true validation comes from within. It is in solitude that she faces her deepest fears and overcomes them. Without distractions, she is left with only herself, her thoughts, her dreams, her struggles, and in that space she finds the courage to confront what others might run from. She learns to be her own advocate, her own comforter, her own motivator. She has no choice but to stand tall, even when the weight of loneliness presses down on her. She does not crumble, she does not give up, she endures. But endurance is not the only thing she gains. In her solitude, she discovers clarity. She sees the world differently than those who are constantly surrounded by noise. She recognizes what is truly important, what is truly valuable. She understands relationships not just from the perspective of wanting them, but from the wisdom of knowing which ones are worth having. Her solitude has given her insight, discernment, and a vision for something greater. The world may not celebrate her strength because it does not come in the form of applause or admiration. It comes in quiet perseverance, in the simple act of waking up and continuing on, even when no one is watching. She is strong, not because she has never been weak, but because she has faced her weaknesses alone and overcome them. The world sees a woman who walks alone, but what they fail to see is the warrior within her. There is a cry that no one else can hear, a silent plea hidden behind a steady gaze, a forced smile, or a composed voice. It is the cry of the heart, the deep, aching longing for connection, for someone to see beyond the exterior and truly understand. A woman who walks alone with no friends may never speak of it, may never show the world the depths of her loneliness. But that does not mean she does not feel it. The soul was never meant to exist in isolation. And when a heart goes too long without companionship, without someone to share the journey, it begins to whisper its longing in ways that words cannot express. There is something about human nature that craves belonging. It is written into the very fabric of our being, the need to be known, to be loved, to be valued. And yet, for the woman who walks alone, this need often feels like a cruel reminder of what she does not have. She watches others laugh together, share secrets, lean on each other in times of trouble, and she wonders why she has been left out. Has she done something wrong? Is there something about her that makes her unworthy of friendship? Or is she simply invisible in a world that seems to pass her by? The cry of the heart is not just about wanting companionship. It is about wanting to matter. It is about wanting to know that if she disappeared tomorrow, someone would notice, someone would care. It is about wanting her name to be spoken with warmth, her presence to be cherished, her absence to be felt. Loneliness is not just the absence of people. It is the absence of deep, meaningful connection. A room full of people does not remove loneliness if none of them truly see her, truly know her. But here is the painful reality. The world does not always listen to the cry of the heart. It keeps moving, busy with its own distractions, unaware of the silent battles being fought in the lives of those who feel unseen. And so, she learns to quiet her longing, to suppress it, to carry it with her as she walks alone. She tells herself that she does not need anyone, that she is strong enough to face life on her own. But deep down, the heart still whispers its quiet plea. Is there anyone out there who truly sees me? What she may not yet realize is that her cry has never gone unheard Though the world may not always listen, there is one who does. Though people may not always notice, there is one who has seen every lonely step she has taken. The longing in her heart is not an accident. It was placed there for a reason. She was made for connection, for love, for belonging. And while the world may fail to provide it, there is a presence that has never left her side. Her cry does not echo into emptiness. It is heard, it is known, and it will be answered in ways she never expected. Every journey has a purpose, but for the woman who walks alone, the path can often feel aimless. She looks around and sees others walking together, finding companionship, support, and direction in the presence of others. She, however, walks a different road, one marked by solitude, by quiet reflections, by unanswered questions. It is easy to wonder if this path leads anywhere at all, or if she has simply been forgotten along the way. But what she does not yet see is that even the loneliest journey has a divine direction. There is a purpose in the path she walks, even if she does not understand it yet. It is human nature to believe that purpose is found in movement, in progress, in shared experiences. The world tells us that success is measured by the people we surround ourselves with, by the relationships we build, by the circles we belong to. And yet, history has shown that some of the greatest moments of transformation happen in isolation. The woman who walks alone may feel like she is wandering, but in reality, she is being prepared. She is being refined, strengthened, and shaped for something greater than she can see. There are lessons that can only be learned in solitude. When the noise of the world fades, when the distractions of shallow relationships are stripped away, a woman is left with only herself. And in that space, she begins to understand who she truly is. She faces the depths of her heart, the dreams she has buried, the wounds she has ignored. She discovers a strength that does not rely on the validation of others, a confidence that is not dependent on approval. The woman who walks alone is not being punished, she is being prepared. Purpose is not always revealed in the moment. Often it is only in looking back that we realize why we had to walk certain paths, why some doors remained closed, why some relationships never formed. The road of solitude may seem barren, but every step is leading somewhere. It is in the quiet seasons of life that character is built, that faith is tested, that resilience is formed. The woman who walks alone is learning patience, endurance, and wisdom, qualities that will one day set her apart when her time comes to step into something greater. And so, even as she walks alone, she is not without direction. Even when she cannot see the full picture, she is not lost. There is a reason for the road she travels, even if it is not yet clear. Her path is not without purpose. Her journey is not in vain. One day, she will look back and understand why she had to walk this way, why she had to go through the silence, why she had to learn the lessons only solitude could teach. And when that day comes, she will no longer see herself as a woman who walks alone. She will see herself as a woman who was being led every step of the way. There is a voice that speaks in the silence, a whisper that lingers in the mind of the woman who walks alone. It tells her she is forgotten, that she is unworthy, that she does not belong. It reminds her of every rejection, every lost friendship, every moment she reached out only to find emptiness in return. This voice does not shout. It seeps into her thoughts, subtle but relentless, weaving lies that take root in her heart. And if she is not careful, she may begin to believe them. Loneliness has a way of distorting reality. It convinces her that because she is alone now, she will always be alone. It tells her that because people have overlooked her, she has no value. It leads her to question everything, her worth, her purpose, even the love of the one who has never left her. This is the greatest deception of all. the belief that she is truly alone. Because if she believes that, she may stop hoping. She may stop reaching out. She may accept the lie that she is unwanted and withdraw further into isolation. But the truth is far different from what she has been led to believe. She is not forgotten. She is not invisible. She is not without purpose. The world may not always see her, but her worth is not determined by human recognition. The people who have walked away from her do not define her value. The friendships that never form do not mean she is unworthy of love. And the loneliness she feels does not mean she is unloved. There is an enemy that thrives on isolation, that seeks to convince people they are alone so they will give up, lose hope, and stop believing in something greater than themselves. But the woman who walks alone must recognize this for what it is, a tactic to break her spirit, to keep her from seeing the truth that has been there all along. Because she is not truly alone. There is one who has walked every step with her, who has seen every tear, who has heard every silent prayer. She may not always feel his presence, but he has never left her side. The lies of loneliness lose their power the moment she recognizes them. The moment she stops defining herself by who has abandoned her and starts defining herself by who has remained. The moment she stops believing she is unworthy and starts seeing herself through the eyes of the one who created her. The moment she realizes that the love she has been searching for in others has been surrounding her all along. She has a choice. She can believe the lies, or she can embrace the truth. And the truth is this: she is seen, she is loved, and she has never truly been alone, not for a single moment. There is a difference between being alone and feeling alone. A woman who walks alone may feel the weight of her solitude pressing against her soul. But what she does not always realize is that there is power in being set apart. The world teaches that being surrounded by people is the sign of a fulfilled life, that having friends and constant companionship is the mark of success. But some of the strongest, most extraordinary individuals in history were those who walked alone for a season. Those who endured solitude, not as a punishment, but as a preparation for something greater. A woman who walks alone has been given a gift that few recognize, the ability to hear her own voice without the interference of others. She is not shaped by the opinions of the crowd, nor does she compromise her identity to fit into places where she was never meant to belong. She has time to reflect, to grow, to develop a strength that does not depend on the approval of others. And in that strength, she finds something rare, an unshakable confidence that is built not on what people say about her, but on who she knows herself to be. In a world that constantly seeks validation, the woman who walks alone learns the art of self-assurance. She does not need constant affirmation to know her worth. She does not fear solitude because she understands that her identity is not tied to who stands beside her. She is whole, even in her solitude. She is complete, even when the world tries to convince her otherwise. But this does not mean the journey is easy. The path of solitude can be lonely, can feel endless, can make her question whether she is truly meant to walk alone forever. There are days when she longs for a voice to break the silence, for a hand to reach for hers, for someone to simply understand. But it is in these moments that she must remember the truth. She is never truly alone. She is being strengthened in ways she cannot yet see. She is being refined for a purpose she does not yet understand. One day she will look back and realize that the season of walking alone was never meant to break her. It was meant to build her. She will see that while the world chased after shallow connections, she was developing something far deeper, she will find that her solitude was not an empty space, but a sacred one, where she discovered who she was meant to be. And when the time comes for her to step into the relationships and opportunities meant for her, she will do so with a strength that only those who have walked alone can truly understand. The woman who walks alone is not without battles. Though she carries herself with quiet strength, though she faces each day with determination, there are moments when the weight of solitude becomes almost unbearable. It is in those moments, in the silence of the night or the stillness of an empty room, that she feels the deepest ache, the longing for someone to truly see her, to reach for her, to remind her that she is not forgotten. Loneliness is not just the absence of people, it is the absence of understanding. A woman can be surrounded by a crowd and still feel invisible if no one truly knows her heart. And so she learns to carry herself in a way that does not show her need, to wear a mask of independence so that no one sees the struggle beneath. She tells herself she is fine, that she does not need anyone, that she has grown used to the silence. But deep down, the human heart was not created for isolation, and no amount of strength can completely silence the longing for connection. The danger of prolonged solitude is that it can lead to resignation, to the belief that things will never change, that no one will ever come, that she will always walk alone. And when that belief takes hold, it begins to build walls around the heart, keeping out not only the pain of disappointment, but also the possibility of love. She may convince herself that she prefers it this way, that it is safer not to expect anything from anyone. But in doing so, she risks shutting herself off from the very thing she longs for. The truth is, she was never meant to carry this burden alone. Strength is not found in pretending not to need others, but in recognizing that even the strongest hearts need companionship, understanding, and love. Her journey may be one of solitude now, but that does not mean it always will be. The doors that have remained closed are not a sign that she is unworthy of love, but rather that she is being prepared for something deeper, something real. She must not allow loneliness to convince her that this is her permanent reality. She must not let past disappointments cause her to harden her heart to the connection still to come. She is worthy of love, of friendship, of belonging. And while she may walk alone for a season, that does not mean she will walk alone forever. Her heart was made for more than just survival. It was made for connection. And in time, in the right place, with the right people, she will find it. Until then, she must not lose hope. Hope is a fragile thing for the woman who walks alone. It flickers like a candle in the wind, constantly threatened by the storms of disappointment and rejection. She has hoped before, hope for friendships that never lasted, for love that never arrived, for someone to see her, to choose her, to walk beside her. But time and time again, that hope has been met with silence, with absence, with unanswered prayers. And so, she learns to lower her expectations, to silence the part of her heart that still longs for connection. She tells herself that hope is dangerous because it only leads to pain. But hope is not the enemy. It is not the thing that has betrayed her. The problem is not that she has hoped. It is that she has placed her hope in the wrong things. She has looked for security in people who were never meant to stay, for fulfillment in relationships that could never truly complete her. She has built her hope on shifting sand, expecting human love to heal the wounds only something greater can touch. And when that foundation crumbles, she believes that hope itself is to blame. But true hope is not found in circumstances or in people. It is not found in waiting for the right friend to come along, the right relationship to fill the emptiness, the right season to finally bring her peace. True hope is built on something unshakable, something that does not change with time or disappointment. It is built on the understanding that she is not forgotten, that her loneliness is not meaningless, that there is a purpose even in the waiting. Hope is what keeps her walking when she feels like stopping. It is what tells her that just because she is alone today does not mean she always will be. It is what reminds her that her worth is not determined by who chooses to stay in her life. Hope whispers that she is seen even when she feels invisible, that she is loved even when she feels unworthy, that she is on a journey even when she cannot see the destination. The woman who walks alone has a choice. She can let her disappointments define her, allow her past to convince her that she is meant to walk alone forever. Or she can choose to believe that something greater is ahead, that her solitude is not the end of her story, but a chapter leading to something beautiful. Hope is not weakness. It is the strongest thing she can hold on to, because the moment she lets go of hope is the moment she truly becomes lost. But as long as she holds on to it, no matter how dim it may seem, she will find her way. The woman who walks alone may believe her story is one of loneliness, but in reality, it is a story of transformation. She is not simply surviving the absence of companionship. She is becoming someone new. The road she walks is shaping her, refining her, preparing her for something beyond what she can see. Every step she takes in solitude is not wasted. Every silent moment is molding her into a woman of depth, wisdom, and unshakable strength. There is a kind of growth that only happens in isolation. When no one is there to affirm her, she learns to affirm herself. When no one is there to encourage her, she discovers how to encourage herself. When no one is there to guide her, she finds direction through something greater than human voices. The woman who walks alone is learning how to stand firm in who she is, without needing the approval or validation of others. And in that, she is gaining something most people never have: the ability to be truly whole, no matter who is or is not beside her. But transformation is never easy. It requires breaking, reshaping, rebuilding. It demands that she face the wounds she has ignored, the fears she has buried, the lies she has believed about herself. And as she walks this road, she is being stripped of everything false, everything shallow, everything that does not serve the woman she is meant to become. This process is painful, but it is also necessary, because when she emerges from this season, she will not be the same woman who once longed for others to complete her. She will be a woman who knows her worth, a woman who walks with purpose, a woman who no longer fears solitude because she understands its purpose. The world tells her that being alone is a sign of failure, but the truth is, it is often the greatest opportunity for growth. Many people go through life constantly surrounded by others, yet never truly knowing themselves. They spend their days chasing approval, fearing solitude, never stopping long enough to ask the deeper questions. But the woman who walks alone has been given the chance to discover herself in a way few ever do. And when the time comes for her to step into the relationships and the calling meant for her, she will do so with a strength that cannot be shaken. Her story is not one of loneliness. It is one of transformation. She is being prepared for something greater. And when she looks back, she will not regret the road she walked alone, because she will see that it was the very thing that made her into the woman she was always meant to be. To the woman who walks alone, hear this truth: your solitude is not a sign of your unworthiness, nor is it proof that you are forgotten. It is a season, a process, a refining fire shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more complete than you ever imagined. The loneliness you feel is not the final chapter of your story. It is the ground from which something beautiful will grow. You have walked through silence, but you have not been unheard. You have faced rejection, but you have not been unloved. You have questioned your worth, but you have never been without value. Every step you have taken alone has been seen. Every tear has been counted. Every longing of your heart has been known. And though it may not feel like it now, the path you walk has purpose. One day you will look back and understand why you had to walk this road. You will see how the solitude strengthened you, how the silence taught you, how the waiting prepared you. And when you step into the love, the friendships, the purpose that has been waiting for you, you will do so as a woman who is whole, not because others completed you, but because you found completion within yourself. So keep walking, keep hoping, keep believing that this season is not the end of your story. You are not alone, not now, not ever. And one day, when you look back, you will no longer see yourself as a woman who walked alone. You will see yourself as a woman who was being led every step of the way.